After what they did the past 2 seasons, we can call Penn State elite again. We bring in Patrick Korbler from Black Shoe Diaries to talk up the Nittany Lions following an elite class brought in on National Signing Day. Patrick, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Mark. Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so James Franklin doing an outstanding job both on the field and on the recruiting path. Number 5 class in the nation, according to 247 Sports, number 2 in the Big Ten, just behind the Ohio State Buckeyes, with 6 guys already on campus, 23 total. So it's difficult to know where to go with this. So much talent there. But your thoughts about the 2018 haul?
Yeah. So as you said, you kind of go in a lot of different directions with this 2018 class. I think for most Penn State recruitniks and most Penn State fans, it begins and ends with, well, doesn't end, but begins with 5-star Micah Parsons, who committed to Penn State. I'm 24. He committed to Penn State when I was still at Penn State. So I believe he was a sophomore in high school. That's how long ago he originally committed. Had a little bit of drama in his recruitment, ended up decommitting, and eventually circled back around after flirting with Ohio State, circled back around to Penn State and recommitted on the December sign period, December 20th. 5-star kid, number 5 player in the country, could play defensive end, could play linebacker. He's 6'3" in the 235 area. Really just a menace and a really, really good football player. One of those kids that went out and went to a bunch of different camps and really liked competing. So he'll be called upon right away. I mean, there's no doubt, like, he will absolutely not be redshirted. It's just a matter of finding out if he's going to play linebacker or if he's going to play defensive end. And then sticking with the 5 stars, I think offensively, I think perhaps the best player in the class. I mean, Micah Parsons is incredible, but I personally think Justin Shorter might just be the best player in the class. He's a wide receiver from New Jersey. Obviously, anytime you have a notable wide receiver, I feel like everybody compares him to like a Calvin Johnson. I think he's more like a Julio Jones, and I feel like that comparison actually fits. It's not too much hyperbole. 6'4", 215 pounds. Another kid that went out and did all the Nike camps and the Rivals camps and was really just dominant. When he committed to Penn State, he was a top 100 player, but not the 5-star player he is now. So he went out and he proved his worth. And another kid that, without a doubt, will not redshirt. He's going to be called upon right away. And honestly, Penn State isn't really hurting too much at wide receiver. It's just more so that Justin Shorter is just that absolutely talented that he's going to be able to come in and make an impact right away.
When you look at this class, you ran down the top end talent. Is there anybody that stands out to you from the scouting reports you heard, from the video that you watched, that may be down the list? I think we get so enamored with the 5 stars and to a lesser degree the 4 stars. But if you look at any conference contender across the nation, you look at the really big programs, the bulk of the roster is built on 3 stars, and there's certainly a ton of them running around that become impact players. Anybody maybe a bit off the radar that you really like?
So much of this class, I feel like, is actually pretty well rated. When people ask about, underrated players, I don't feel like there's anybody that's criminally underrated. I know that there's a lot of fans of Charlie Catshear. He's a 3-star kid from Pennsylvania, played wide receiver and a little bit of safety in high school. He's going to be making the move to linebacker. Has really good size, 6'3", 210 pounds, and was one of those types of, I guess you call him like a locker room guy. Won't have any off the field issues. Will be a good teammate. And I remember when he was offered, just because he was a lower ranked guy, a lot of the talk was just like Penn State just fell in love with his personality and his off the field work ethic. I think one of the more intriguing guys is going to be Will. I believe his last name is pronounced Levis. Will Levis, the quarterback. So obviously Penn State had Justin Fields, the 5-star kid from Georgia, committed for a couple months. He ended up decommitting and obviously stuck with Georgia then. So Penn State went out and offered Will Levis from Connecticut, a really, really good athlete. I believe he had the highest Nike Sparks score for any quarterback in the country. 6'4", 220 pounds, coming from Connecticut. So I think there's going to be a bit of a lift in competition, obviously coming to the Big Ten, but yeah, really has everything you look for in a quarterback. Good mobility, good size, a strong arm. We'll just have to work on the accuracy like a lot of quarterbacks do. So he's going to be a kid that should factor into the starting quarterback discussion at some point down the line. It remains to be seen when that happens, just because Penn State does have Tommy Stevens, who's a redshirt junior. If he sticks around, he'll be the starter in 2019. If not, that quarterback battle is going to be wide open. So a kid like Levis, redshirt this year, and then could battle for that spot, next year this time.